Welcome along to our coverage here on ConnectRugby.ie of Connacht's opening home pre-season game as they prepare for the new United Rugby Championship season. Rugby is in the air. The mood is very much joyous at the moment as people have enjoyed the World Cup so far and looking ahead to the South Africa match tomorrow. But here at the sports ground, early on a Friday evening, we got top quality action. The reigning United Rugby champions are here. That would be Munster to face Connacht. I'm Rob Murphy, and the second part of my Galway Bay FM rugby commentary team is William Davis. He's here with me as well. How are you, William?
I'm very good. It's great to be back. Semi-finalists Connacht last year, so this is the start of a big season for them.
Big season indeed. Well, we're going to get through the teams, and as always when we're doing commentaries, William Davis will read out the team, starting with Connacht.
And Connacht line out as follows: 15 John Porch, 14 Diarmuid Kilgallen, 13 Tom Farrell, 12 Tom Daly, 11 Andrew Smith, 10 Jack Carty the captain, 9 Caelan Blade, 1 Dennis Buckley, 2 Dave Heffernan, 3 Jack Ainger, 4 Niall Murray, 5 Joe Joyce, 6 Seamus Hurley Langton, 7 Conor Oliver and 8 Cian Prendergast.
Jack Carty captains the side, as you can see there. Andrew Smith, the new signing from Sevens Rugby on the wing. Now, William, to Munster.
Let's have a look at the Munster side, and they line out as follows: 15 Simon Zebo, 14 Shea McCarthy, 13 Antoine Frisch, 12 Rory Scannell, 11 Calvin Nash, 10 Joey Carberry, 9 Ethan Coughlin, 1 Josh Wisherley, 2 Diarmuid Barron, 3 in a change to the listings. John Ryan will start. 4, Gavin Coombs. 5, Fineen Wisherley. 6, the captain, Jack O'Donoghue. 7, John Hodnett. 8, Alex Kildellen. Keenan Knox has come on to the bench for Munster as Ryan starts. Our referee, Andrew Cole. AR1 is Owen Cross. AR2 is Andrew Fogarty.
And as you can see, Jack O'Donoghue will captain the side. Munster obviously more disrupted by the Rugby World Cup than Connacht in terms of numbers. So they still carry a number of the players who obviously were involved in the match day side that went to South Africa and won the title. And there's a lot of key players in terms of their hopes for having a deeper, stronger squad again this season. They're constantly trying to improve. They won't be resting on their laurels. And this is a big test for them after losing to Leinster a week ago.
Yeah, absolutely. That loss to Leinster. Connacht on the same day had a win against a slightly weakened Ulster side, but it was still a good performance on a hot day in Ballynahinch. Look, these games are very important to get ready. They've both been back training since the beginning of July. It's a huge run-in to October the 21st, when I think both sides will start their URC campaign. The training has been broken up. Connacht have been here. They've had work for 4 weeks and then had a week off and another 4 weeks and a week off, just to break it up a bit. But these players really want to get on the field, especially new players. For the likes of Connacht, you're looking at Joe Joyce, for example, come over from Bristol. He wants to get out there. A player like Andrew Smith, they want to show the management and the coaches that they're ready to go when the season starts.
Yeah.
And they understand their roles and their positions. Those are the players it's important for, but it's the same for Munster. Any of these younger players coming through here, they want to be saying, we're ready, let's go.
William, for the likes of Caelan Blade, who was involved in the Irish World Cup warm-ups, or Joey Carberry, what do you, like, as best as you can tell, and we're all on the outside, we can't experience it, but the mentality and the mindset, it's a real challenge. They're professional sports players, but at the same time, they've probably had to deal with a bit of disappointment at not making that World Cup squad.
Yeah, you would think so. Cian Prendergast as well, but of course, they're probably on a list of players who are one phone call away.
Which is very strange.
Which is very strange, but I mean, you want to keep your numbers up to 33. Now, Ireland made the decision to bring Jack Conan injured, and he still hasn't played, so they're picking off a slightly smaller squad at 32. But it is, they're waiting all the time for that to happen, because it can happen in a flash. Look at DuPont last night. It's one thing that could happen in training. Player gets injured, bang, we need to get you over here now. So there is pressure for them as well, but I think they'll all be delighted just to actually get on the field and start playing rugby, rather than training and going through analysis and the fitness stuff. This is the real point of what they do.
I look at guys like Niall Murray, going through Tom Farrell, and you think of maybe someone like John Hodnett from Munster. We've seen in past World Cup cycles, the Six Nations that follows a World Cup can be a very funny place, and it can provide incredible opportunities for players on the international landscape. Very short time span. These guys want to hit the ground running this season and see if there's an opportunity.
Oh, absolutely. It's all about seizing that. And that's part of what you have to gear yourself up for that and be ready to go. This game, in some ways, because of the World Cup, is going to overshadow it a little bit in the game against South Africa. But for these players, this is a huge opportunity. And we'll see how they go. Look, Munster know they're there to be shot at. They are the reigning URC champions. So every game they play this season, from this to a URC game away, maybe against Leinster or South Africa or wherever they go, they are the champions. Everybody wants to beat a champion.
Connacht, as you can see, have taken to the field. Munster are there already. Connacht in their all green, Munster in the red jerseys, white shorts and red socks. They, as you can see, are attacking from right to left. And look, as we set ourselves up for what should be a cracking pre-season encounter. Munster have 8 subs, so just a normal replacement list. Connacht have gone for a few extra, 4 extra, but it's not going to be one of those pre-season games with massive wholesale changes. This should be a full-on contest. The 8 teams have already played today. Yeah,
you would think so. The 8 teams have played. Connacht won that game 45-31, having been 31-5 down.
Wow.
That was some game. Let's hope this is as good.
Joey Carberry gets us underway. Connacht have received a kickoff. Niall Murray up in the sky. Great crowd here. They're expecting around, over 2,000 season ticket holders getting this as a bonus game as well. And there really is a nice feeling in the air, a new season buzz, people looking forward to the United Rugby Championship start and still enjoying every second of the World Cup as well. Huge crowd in Munster last week for the Leinster game. They sold that out, I believe, in Musgrave Park. So they'll be looking to try and build on what was a disappointing result as Connacht get themselves. Tom Daly was a little bit slow perhaps to roll away there, but it's all clean. Munster up and running, and the carry straight away early on for Hodnett. Out it comes from the base. Interesting to see how Coughlin goes here. The young up and coming scrum half, 21 years of age, Ethan Coughlin. He's certainly quick from the base. Gets it out to Barron there. It might have been just around the shoulder, and it was. Andrew Cole is our referee, and he has the hand out for a high tackle. Anything above the shoulder now is being given. We've seen that in the World Cup. Prendergast gets stuck into that one. Connacht are on the wrong side there. Good start from Munster. Good ball retention. Here's Simon Zebo of RT Rugby World Cup coverage fame these days, as well as playing for Munster. It is going back for the penalty to Munster. Correct call under these new focuses and interpretations.
Yeah, very much so. It's the way it's going to be. Players are just going to have to drop that level. We've seen it's causing some issues at the World Cup. Good solid start by Munster there. Runners available both sides, and some nice distribution. Connacht will be a little bit frustrated. They really should have tidied up that kick-off a little bit better. But he's going to go for the corner. I thought he was going to line that up for kick, but maybe kicking slightly into the wind.
And Munster get themselves a nice little platform. Yeah, the wind was a factor in the first game, William, that was played here at 1 o'clock between Connacht A and Munster A, but you feel it's died a little bit.
It has died. It was a proper full-on sports ground gale at 1 o'clock, but it's now just a breeze.
We have a lot of Munster rugby fans who've signed up to the stream as well, I'm sure, and you're welcome along and enjoying keeping an eye on your team for the pre-season. Connacht have got a nice steal on the line out there. I think that was the hand. It was the hand of Prendergast. Super stuff from Keane Prendergast, who was so close to the Rugby World Cup squad, William. So close. Did so well in the warm-ups. Must be right there on the edge if there's an injury.
Well, just saying the Jack Conan situation's a bit odd to me. He's he's down there now, the guts of 3 weeks, and he's still barely training. So they made the decision. But he's
got
close.
Everything else right, so I don't know if at the moment the general consensus is they have got everything right. That little kick over the top didn't work, and it looks like we're going to go back for the advantage that Connacht were in
playing through.
So it's going to be a line out forgive me, getting my terminologies all up mixed up here. Scrum up to Connacht.
Yeah, it's the first scrum of the game. I mean, these are always important. I think this game has been, people are just put down as a friendly. I don't think any Interpro game is a friendly. These two sides have a history of they go at it pretty hard. I think all Interpro games are like that.
We might have gone the longest time for years that we haven't played Munster, because we played them twice early season last year. Connacht haven't seen them since. Would have loved to play them in the United Rugby Championship final had they got over the Stormers in the semi-final, Connacht, but as it turned out,
well, they learned a lot from Connacht and went and won it in great style in Cape Town.
Great pressure from Munster at the base there. Caelan Blake probably felt that young Ethan Coughlin was offside, but I think the start to the game that the Munster number 9 has had has been impressive. Great opportunity for the likes of him coming into the start of the season with Craig Casey and Conor Murray away. Huge opportunity for a young player like that.
Oh, absolutely, and he's got to seize it. I mean, and they're going to be away quite a long period of time. We hope a very long period of time, depending on Ireland. But because they've been in training camp for so long, those players won't just rotate back into Munster or Connacht. Connacht will be in the same situation. The players, you'll be waiting to see them.
Just reminders, John Ryan at tight head, if you just checked the teams before and maybe missed our team list. Munster had to make a change. Stephen Archer was a late withdrawal when we were chatting to them in the build-up.
Connacht will be wary again now here. That scrum rather didn't prepare themselves for kind of the second hit.
Just getting a reset on it.
Yeah, referees let them go. He hasn't penalised any side for that.
And the drive is about to be on here. Good pressure from Munster. Good steady response from Connacht as well, so that's a good contest on the 4G surface here at the sports ground. Good first ball presentation allows Coughlin to find Hodnett. So good in the 2 matches Munster played against Connacht early last season. That ball's come loose off the back of that, and it's an advantage. You had to feel Connacht must have been offside. Ball thrown wide, and Munster have got a beautiful try. Just a scoop pass from O'Donoghue, the captain, all the way out to the wing, and Shea McCarthy. But we're going back.
I'm going back, I think, because that was a forward pass, so he's gone back for the original offence, I think.
Oh, I was just about to start waxing lyrical about Shea McCarthy scoring a try.
Yeah.
Luckily I got the brakes put on me there.
From our height here, it did look as if it had gone just a bit forward. It's a bit of a Hail Mary pass, and I think when we see the replay,
Connacht were offside. Munster were playing through the advantage.
Yeah, you'll see this pass, and if you watch where the lines are, and
I don't know, it got touched actually by a Connacht hand,
it did,
which would actually negate the forwardness, unless it was forward before then. Connacht hand of Andrew Smith making his
a little lucky there, actually.
First start at the sports ground in the green of Connacht. Yeah, I think so too. Anyways, it was all very messy. Munster got the penalty and they've gone for the scrum. They've taken the free kick actually because they've been given it and said, "What? We'll have that," and they've gone for the line. I think that was Kendallin who went for it. They're underneath the post and almost in. Great start from Munster.
Yeah, they're definitely on the front foot here. Connacht don't look as if they're fully switched on yet.
Well, they're switched on in terms of the energy and getting back on the line and making sure they're on side. The Leinster-based referee, Mr. Andrew Cole, coming around there just to double check that the offside isn't being broken. Munster have come around the side though. They seem to be over the line. Held up, goal line dropout. That's a big risk when you go for it these days, as we all know.
It really look, it's the biggest change that I can remember, because you used to just kept going and recycle, but now when you go, if you get it wrong, okay, you're going to get the ball back, but it has changed the way the game is played in that 5 metre area.
These goal line restarts now are very good attacking opportunities, but like the sheer the punishment almost, Antoine Frisch has come back with that one. It's pretty severe, and Munster stopped in the 10 metre line. They've got to get their defence right here. It's a huge loss overall for Munster, but let's see if Munster can spread it wide and make themselves effective. Calvin Nash has had some good games against Connacht over the last few years. He's running well with the ball there.
Connacht's defence is a little on the back foot. They're making the tackles, but they're not quite in the position they'd want to be. That's a good one. That's a better Zebo one than Daly.
Good carry from Scannell before that. And Munster now attacking the short side, and very positive play from Munster. They're very much controlling it. Connacht over the ball, on their feet. Penalty. Super stuff. And a really, really good moment for Connacht in terms of their hard work and determination in the early stages. And I was mentioning him a few minutes ago, Andrew Smith, who's been brought in for his sevens expertise. And you wonder if there's a bit of that in terms of attacking the ball at the breakdown in sevens rugby. And not brought him for his sevens expertise, but his exploits in sevens rugby is what brought the attention of Connacht. That was pretty impressive there.
That was impressive. He had good body position, got his hands in nice and fast. And Connacht, for the first time really in the game, are in the Munster half.
The wind, looking at the touch judge flag there, has picked up a bit, so we'll keep an eye on that.
Yeah, it's the sports ground. You could come here on the calmest day of summer, there would still be a breeze up here.
Niall Murray wins the ball. And there's a flat ball into Tom Daly in the centre. Daly has just met a wall and been driven back. That's impressive again from Munster defensively. Quick ball though is going to cause some trouble if Heffernan takes a line like that. Dave Heffernan, Munster slow to roll away. Caelan Blade looking for the penalty. He's got it now. Munster have come in from the side.
Yeah, that's a soft penalty to give away. Connacht were kind of playing for that a bit.
Yeah, and I don't think a referee is buying that. So Munster perhaps will be critical of themselves there for just making the job easy on the officials. Jack Carty. He's been in good form in pre-season, I think. And he's gone for every last inch of that one, and that didn't work. Shea McCarthy, happy to take that back. Great tackle though from Smith, who got up, took him down, then got over the ball, and he almost got a big turnover. He's come right through and he's been penalised because he kicked it. Everything else he did was perfect there, I think. But once you kick that ball, we saw France having a try struck off against Uruguay in the World Cup. For that, you can't put your boot on the ball even if you come through the ruck.
Yeah, he overcooked it there, Jack Carty. That was that has been an issue for him on a couple of occasions. I think he'll be disappointed with that. I know he was trying to get as close as possible, but first job really is get it into touch, give an opportunity to get some get your feet into the 22. I could see what he was trying. Of course, JJ Hanrahan, ex-Munster, has joined Connacht this year as potentially the second out half. But I'd say the competition between himself and Jack Carty will be pretty heavy. Hanrahan's played a lot of rugby in different places. He's a lot of experience. And he was kicking well in the warm-up. I'm sure he'll get some game time at some stage in the game.
Munster fine touch. Get themselves out of trouble.
Yeah. The wind has picked up, but it's definitely in Connacht's favour. This is the sort of game we might be saying this is a 10 or 12 point wind if you're looking at the halves. It certainly made a difference in the A game. Connacht at the moment haven't really got onto the front foot sufficiently to test Munster.
Off the back of the line out. Well, if that's not forward, I'd be concerned if that wasn't called. It's scrum. The scrum will beat the Connacht.
Yeah, you can't cover that one up. It was a good idea, but the player just overrun it. Dave Heffernan's asking about something. You feel already that these scrums are going to be an important part of the game. It's a huge part of Munster's game, and it'll be interesting to see if they put an attack on this to see if they can really turn the squeeze onto Connacht.
First, like this, we've talked about it before, William, but this surface does lead to scrums being very tight. If teams are evenly matched, you get a lot of steady scrums that don't go either way. Yeah,
they'll tell you that it's easier to hold on here, that you don't really get the push, and that's what's happening here. Connacht have secured that.
Oh, nice platform for Caelan Blade to get away. Andrew Smith will get better passes in his Connacht days, but he took it in well. Dennis Buckley pops it back inside. And Niall Murray has just charged forward. That's good from Connacht. First chance for them to attack. Conor Oliver, what a season he had last year.
Yeah, he was brilliant last year. He did a lot of that last season. He made himself available as a runner.
Carty's time pass gets it all the way out to the wing, and Dermot Kilgallen, he loves to get a try when he gets half a chance. He is in for the score. Oh, that was great from Carty. Brilliant from Connacht off the scrum, and then the next phase. And they just sucked the Munster defence in and exploited it out wide.
That was lovely work. That was very clever passing. That's driven up by Oliver, and then it moves through from...
Great credit to Porch
and
there
Kilgallen
as well.
Again, this fella, when he gets the ball in hand, he scores a lot of tries. He's a big unit powering down that wing. Took that ball well. Sympathetic passing across the line, and from where they were a few minutes ago, Connacht be very pleased with that.
Carty and Porch had bodies in their face. They had hits coming their way when they offloaded the ball, and both of them got the job done because they knew it was on, and Kilgallen is a finisher. We know that ourselves from covering Connacht last season. They got the ball to him and he delivered.
That's what you want to see from your wingers. Obviously, see if Jack can add the points here. Yeah, he's held that up in the wind beautifully.
Jack Carty, ladies and gentlemen, the Roscommon man doing the business on his home turf. And despite the fact that for 8.5 of the 12 minutes gone, Munster completely dominated possession in territory, it's Connacht who scored first.
Yeah, I suppose the lesson there is when you have the position and territory, you want to score, and they didn't quite manage it. And Connacht will feel that that's a nice smash and grab raid. They haven't tidied this up too well. It's got quite messy.
And Munster have profited. But now Connacht are over the ball, and they're about to get a penalty. They're on their feet. The referee said sufficiently supporting their body weight. And Seamus Hurley-Langton is picking up where he left off last season.
Yeah, the two flankers for Connacht so far have done that, and of course Prendergast is just being Prendergast so far. He's been a bit of a nuisance. He's stolen a line out. He's made a couple of tackles. He's just machine-like at times. He just comes out and does what exactly is required.
Connacht fine touch on halfway. They get a bit of movement, but that's a tougher line out. Great work from O'Donoghue. The Munster captain, 29 years of age. Just a tenacious, fiery six. We felt it was going to be a good battle today in the back row.
Yeah, the back rows are set up here. Both of the back rows look the strongest unit plays on the field.
McCarthy coming off the right wing, it is, taking the contact and presenting the ball. Munster just need to have good hands here to get it out to Calvin Nash, who goes through 1-2 tackles and brilliant offload, and somehow John Hodnett couldn't hold on to it.
Well, he had it, and then he didn't have it, but that was nice work again. Both sides are trying to pass very much in the contact area in the offload. Just get a little of it.
I always enjoy watching Calvin Nash play rugby. I think he's got a
you see it coming across again.
So many skills. Look at that for a great carry and then out the back door. Wasn't the easiest take at all for Hodnett, in fairness. He almost did it, yeah.
He's just his knee coming up in the carry and it moving forward hit his hand. Otherwise, he was away.
Absolutely.
That's a better line out again. Prendergast seems to be calling the line outs, I think, because he called that to himself.
He's called a couple now, especially the defensive ones.
Yeah.
Glade is going to launch this into the air. Oh, that was clever. Almost causing a lot of disruption there as Feeney Richarley. He probably put a bit of pressure on the kick. Munster have got it anyways. Coughlin gets it delayed off from 10 metre line now. Connacht half the field. Munster just a bit sickened by conceding that early try. Ryan's away. He's going to get it off, and here they go. Hodnett wants to make up for that. That's got to be high. That's over around the neck. It is an advantage coming the way. They may not need it. Munster rampant, 7-0 down, but looking to hit back. Somehow the ball comes loose, and I think that was a bit cynical, and I think that's a penalty for I should say that's a sin bin for Porch on the basis that Munster are about to score a try and his infringement pretty much stopped one. I would argue.
We'd have to see that again. Unfortunately, there may have been a forward pass right at the start of that movement, but they don't always get picked up. So Porch has departed on the 16th minute exactly for the yellow card. So
we don't have anyone up in the bunker here to look at such things, William. So they're all at the World Cup.
They are.
So you'll just have to deal with
I'll have to accept that. It's one of those ones when it's an offload gone inside like that. It's marginal, but
this is as much for later in the season as now. But you got to keep your discipline in that moment and think of the game. I often wonder, there's a sin bin. All right, Munster taking the 3 points here, but you're conceding. You're given the double whammy there. I mean, if you do concede a try early on in this contest, just take the hit, but don't give the yellow card away in that situation. I would suggest.
Absolutely.
Joey Carberry.
And the thing is, there's still 9 minutes left now for Munster.
Yes,
they've got points, but they've got 9 minutes left. The rule is you should score 7 in a 10-minute period when somebody's down, especially as a fullback. So they've got to realign themselves here. He hasn't played much at fullback. I'm tempted to say that was a fullback who was out of position and wasn't
just trying to save the day for his team as well. But again, if you could, it's awful easy for us to stand up here and say in that moment you should do X and Y when you've just made a 20-metre run and a brilliant tackle, and very easy.
It is very easy, but it's something you have to watch for.
Yeah, discipline's going to be key all season in key games in the United Rugby Championship. Tell you a bit about the fixtures maybe in the second half. Munster have hit back. Connacht lead 7-3 as you can see on your screen. Andrew Smith's underneath this. He's caught that and he's burst right through. Look at him go. Smith then pops off a pass, and Dave Heffernan, as if coming from nowhere, just popped up at the right time. Out it comes. This is really good from Connacht out to Daly. They're running out of players out there, so far as is going to have to take that into contact. But wow, Andrew Smith.
Well, that's the first time we've seen him really turn on the afterburners. That's real speed.
I know a lot of our viewers who've signed up for this streaming service. This is exactly what they want to see. They want to see a good contest, and they want to see some players who might be showing some good form early, especially a new player like Andrew Smith. Munster may have infringed here.
Especially a new player, yeah, they have.
Here goes Blade, not from the mark. Hold on. A little bit of pushing and shoving. All's good though.
That was impressive by Smith. Blade's very good at that. And sometimes he gets away with it when you just go that little bit quick and they don't call you back. But this referee was quite sharp. It wasn't from the area.
Spoke with John Muldoon briefly beforehand, back in the Connacht backroom team. Connacht's all-time leading cap holder. He's up on the plate in the dressing room area in the gold plaque for having broken the 300 caps. But he's in great form, and he was... I just asked him a almost leading question. You must be delighted to be going from all this pre-season training to get a bit of rugby action. And he says, absolutely, they're mad to go. Players must be mad to play some rugby. I know they got some last week, but this feels like a proper fixture now.
Yeah, it's funny maybe why to outsiders why they don't play a few more games.
Yeah.
But it's hard at the minute. Normally the out was to go to France and play 2 games.
Yeah, down Cast or somewhere, yeah.
But you can't go to France at the minute because the World Cup's on.
You can't go to France at the minute if you're a rugby fan with the cost of flights, but let's not go there.
Yeah, exactly. But there isn't an easy option to get there. The Premiership is stopped in England. They're playing the Premiership Cup. The top 14 played for 3 weeks, what seems about 2 years ago, and have stopped. And now the French teams, a lot of them are in America playing warm-up games. Toulouse were in Texas, I think, last week, which is slightly different.
Connacht have opted for a scrum, as you can see on your screen.
Yeah, this is interesting.
And they got a free kick.
They got a free kick out of that.
Munster, when they got their free kick after they had the penalty, decided to go for it, and they got held up over the line.
Yeah.
They've had most of the play.
A lot of chat going on. It's early season and they're not quite sure. Dave Heffernan's asking something about the technical side of that, I think.
Heffernan's support line there for Smith. Because Smith turned around and he was like, please, someone, is there anyone there?
Well,
Heffernan was there.
You need somebody to do it. You need somebody to almost take a punt that you're going to get through, because he took off at such speed. I suppose when you don't watch a lot of sevens, and I would be guilty of that, you don't maybe realise just how fast the game is. But his speed was nice, and he didn't panic as well, which is the other thing.
Ball in 2 hands, as they say. Good scrum from Connacht. Now Munster get a counter shove, so Cian Prendergast needs to get on with this, and he does. Pops it up for Tom Daly, who gets on the front foot. Connacht get a sweeping pod of forwards coming around on the loop. Jack Ainger in the number 3 jersey today. He's a battle on his hand to keep that away from Finlay Bealham, but he has plenty of time over the start of the season to make it his for that period anyways. Tom Farrell will go carry. Munster over that ball off their feet, not supporting their own body weight, I would suggest. Calvin Nash making a nuisance of himself though. Connacht lead and are looking for more. Early stages, well not early stages now, we're at the midway point of the first half. Keelan Blade is taking a while to get this out because he feels there's a Munster player in his way. Farrell, is it on? It is. He goes for it. Did he get there? He didn't. He thinks he did.
The referee linesman, they're both looking very closely now.
Maybe they want to have a look at our streaming coverage here and look at the replay. We're going back for a penalty. Munster
just guilty of giving away penalties. I'm not saying it's cynical, but it's decision making. Connacht have done it as well. It's a decision when they're under pressure.
But even Calvin Nash, as I said there, he was off his feet, he was over the ball, he was slowing it down. They got away with it. We'll see. Connacht are driving for the line. Munster player on the wrong side. Knocked on. Big cheers from the men in red. Job done defensively.
Yeah, that's both sides now have had a problem on the goal line.
Good solid defending from Munster though, and even if what we're describing are pushing the edges, that's what it's all about in this game. It's up to the officials to kind of pull them on it.
About 5 minutes left on the yellow card for Connacht. Munster would hope to be somewhere else on the field really when you've got the extra man, but it seems to have galvanised Connacht a bit in their defensive efforts, and they've managed to drive up on into the 22.
We neglected to mention Connacht not only took that penalty, they turned down an obvious clear 3 points because the thinking was probably run down more, the clock is more beneficial to us, I would imagine.
A little bit.
Would you have taken the 3?
I would have taken the 3, yeah. Because you're going to get the ball back from the kick-off as long as you handle it properly.
Interesting. Good steady scrum from Munster. Ethan Coughlin gets it out. There's not much of a gain there. He asked Rory Scannell to do the job for him with his left foot. I mean, it's solid. It's an exit play, but off the back of a scrum like that, they would have hoped to get a bit more. And we know the wind is at them. Dave Heffernan now is going to throw into a line-out that's keeping at least one forward out. I think that's Hurley Langton in the middle of the pitch, ready to go if they need him. Good win from Murray. Conor Oliver steps in. He just shuffles it out. Hurley Langton was the decoy. Tom Daly is the man who gives them a 10-metre gain. And look how quickly Cian Prendergast, who received the line out, is up and around. That's what he brings here at the sports ground. That's around the neck in terms of the tackle, the way it finished, but no infringement according to the officials. Niall Murray tackled behind the gain line, so Connacht on the back foot. Can someone get them on the front foot? Farrell and Daly are trying to make that happen. Munster over that ball, almost got a brilliant steal.
Great defensive work by Munster. They've driven them back 15-20 metres here. It's really intense stuff at the breakdown area.
Phase after phase. They've given a penalty away though, so free play for Connacht. Again, the tackles are a little bit high. I don't think it was a penalty, but you're skirting the edges. Also, the offside line's been skirted. Here goes Andrew Smith again. Talked about him a bit so far. I beg your pardon. Get my wingers mixed up. That was Dermot Kilgallen in that case. If you just joined us, Kilgallen's try has Connacht 7-3 ahead. And Munster getting a little bit of a talking to for one or two too many penalties. Connacht have a sin binge. That was more for a cynical piece of play on the ground from John Porch, which stopped Munster after a brilliant break. And Munster just decided to take the 3 there. But since that sin bin, Munster will be very disappointed with how they've used that. I'd say this time, no, I was about to suggest that they might go for the 3. They're not doing that. Connacht are going to the corner. Jack Carty.
Well, he's had one chance at this and he got it badly wrong, but he a bit conservative there, but he's got it into touch, which is the main thing. But it's only halfway into the 22. The first one he went full metal jacket at it and it didn't get into touch.
Evening sun across the sports ground. We've had some light showers, not much though, a lot of wind. So overall the conditions in the day has been pretty nice compared to what we've had in the last few weeks. Niall Murray wins the ball wherever you're tuned in around the world. Hope you're enjoying this coverage from the sports ground. Pre-season action. Both teams locked and loaded today for a big contest, and it's been a decent start. Good steady maul from Connacht. I don't know if Blade and Heffernan are in the same wavelength. They are, and the ball is released to the back line probably just the right time. Heffernan's back out there, spinning through the contact and presenting good ball underneath the post, but that's loose and that's messy and that's knocked on. It's the second handling her, if you like, William, in or around the line from a Connacht perspective.
Yeah, it's a bit slow coming back by Connacht there. There isn't any pace in those drives, and maybe some of the communication is a little bit pre-season. They're not really talking to each other too well. That's twice exactly the same thing has happened. Munster's defence is very proactive. It's right up there. They're working very, very hard.
Pete Wilkins will be very pleased. He knew this is exactly the kind of fixture they wanted. Connacht and Munster meet most pre-seasons really, but it's the kind of test you want to your team. Munster are going to ask a lot of questions of you, and Munster obviously will feel
Munster
the same way.
the same, but then next week Connacht are in Edinburgh.
That'll be interesting too.
First time we've really seen Zebo carrying the ball.
33 years of age, Simon Zebo.
Punditing and playing.
35 caps he has amassed over his career. Quite the career it's been. Kick downfield from Ethan Coughlin, and he gets the touch.
Pace has kind of gone out of it at the minute. Connacht are almost probably just counting down till they get back to 15, which they do. Yep, bang on the 26th minute. That was perfectly timed. John Porch is back on. So the defensive line now, Munster will be disappointed. They didn't ask them one question during that 10 minutes, really.
Joe Joyce comes from Wasps to join Connacht this season. And William, do you want to come in there? The ball's knocked on. I was just about to say he was rescuing that. Oh, here goes Joey Carberry. And here go Munster.
He's come from Bristol. He wouldn't.
Did I say Wasps?
You said Wasps.
Oh, Rob.
And I'll tell you something.
Forgive me, Joe.
Yeah, exactly. Forgive me.
Oh, what's wrong with me?
Yeah, we'll pretend that wasn't said.
Just as you said it, I was like, oh, I can hear myself saying it. Where did that come from? Looking at too many notes. Munster again looking dangerous. Connacht over the ball, though, almost getting the turnover. Off your feet now. They could almost, and we're talking about slowing the ball down. Connacht have slowed that down almost illegally. Calvin Nash has now knocked it on. Now everyone's knocking it on, so let's just stop for a second. Reset.
It's just the pace has gone out. We're at 27 minutes in the first half. Everybody's probably starting to look for a bit of air into the lungs. They're getting a bit tired.
We talk about pre-season and little errors coming in. Listen to me a few seconds ago. I'm being told that we have a number of players who are in the Irish World Cup hotel tuned in on the stream to us. So we obviously wish you all the best, the entire nation's with you. Absolutely. Huge night tomorrow night. 3 Connacht men there, men from everywhere. So it's going to be massive. And I hope you are enjoying the coverage from the sports ground. It's a beautiful sunny evening here. And I can tell you, the spirits beforehand, we were around the two dressing rooms, everyone's in great form, both Munster and Connacht camps. They're just delighted to be playing rugby after a hard pre-season, so they're up for this. Carty delayed that pass too long. Tom Farrell had to be offside there. And he is.
He is. Well, there's not much you can do. You see the ball in front of you, you're going to pick it up. Again, that's just a timing pattern that's gone wrong.
Yeah, the pass wasn't on for Carty because whoever was outside him, who I didn't catch actually, was just a step ahead. Might have been Smith, but that's because the pass didn't get to Smith. So once it starts to go wrong, it's all gone wrong then. The mechanics didn't work. 4-point lead for Connacht. The story of the game, Munster dominated the first 9 minutes, but just couldn't make a count on the scoreboard. Good, strong defence from Connacht. Connacht get up the field in a brilliant sweeping move across from left to right, finds Dermot Kilgallen, who gets in the corner. Beautiful conversion from Jack Carty. But then John Porch was sin bin with Munster on the attack. Joey Carberry took the 3 points. Munster thought they were going to gain a lot more out of that sin bin. They didn't. We're back to 15 against 15 as we get towards the final 10 minutes of the first half, and Munster have a brilliant platform for their renowned set-piece play. They're breaking through the side. That's destructive. How have they not got over the line? Ball comes loose, out the side. Oh, good strong defence from a number of Connacht players,
Tom Daly in there,
including the aforementioned. Great from Tom Daly. And your centres are doing that for you, just emboldens the forwards. And there's some good fringe defending again from Connacht. Munster, though, persevere as they only know too well. And they are over the line for the first try. Great stuff from Munster. No more than they deserve from all the play so far. This is a very evenly balanced contest in the early stages, and they just kind of stuck at it. It looked like Connacht's fence. We were praising Tom Daly from the high rooftops there. It looked like they had done enough to kind of sort that out, but just the determination, and I think it was Wycherley in the end, or was Coombs, sorry, in the end, who got in.
Well, that's a try straight out of Munster playbook number 1. Get a penalty, kick it to touch, drive in maul, job done.
The versatility of Gavin Coombs as well is going to be so important to Munster. We know he can do a job for them at 8, but slotting in to add that extra bit of ballast into the second row, and then, you know, on those short out carries, just almost, well, I won't say he's unstoppable, but he's a hard stop. Yeah,
they're very proficient at it. Just don't give away penalties in that area, especially that was a soft one, but they happen. So they've got their noses in front now, and Connacht just want to lift the pace in this game. You'd feel that the game.
Connacht are true on this. Sorry, William. It's gone loose out the side of the ruck, and they've knocked it on.
You sort of kind of feel the game is being played at Munster's pace, whereas Connacht want to play a bit faster. But when they're inaccurate, it doesn't work, and they have been for the last minute. The game has just dipped down a bit. There's 10 minutes you'll probably find the last 5 minutes of this half could be quite frenetic when sides sort of switch back on again.
Not sure how Munster let that ball come loose at the breakdown, but that's probably happening from their perspective a little bit too much. You know, they secured the ball. That was far too loose, and they could have been badly punished there had Connacht not knocked it on. As it is, they get away with it. Ethan Coughlin had a really good start to this game, the young number 9. He seems to be doing all his different tasks quite well in these early stages. That's a good simple exit strategy for the first play, and the try scorer Coombs is now charging it up for a second one. Plenty of players in there to clean it out. The elongated ruck that we'd love to see gone from the game at this stage. I don't mind that one. That's one player coming in. It's the 3 or 4. There's Gary Owen to be attacked here. John Porch is as good as anyone.
Aussie rules boy there, I think, coming through, or maybe he played a bit of Gaelic down in Australia, but he got the foot out in front and got the height. Munster again, look at how far back they've driven Connacht from that. They're so aggressive in defence.
Good clear out from Connacht though, and Daly again is showing his power in a number of different areas. Now Munster on that ball, they should get the penalty. Oh, they're unfortunate. That was a tough one for Connacht to win back. Daly with the carry, Murray's in there. Good quick ball from Blade, and he's going to kick in behind. Probably just wants to change the narrative a little bit. That's a brilliant kick.
Yeah. Lovely kick
from Caelan Blade.
Lovely kick, clever, looked up. That's what you want from your scrum half. Look around, scan and make the decision. It's worth noting, when the season starts, they'll play 11 straight weekends.
It's very, very tough.
When these two teams meet again here on New Year's Day, 2024, they'll have 9. It'll be the 9th URC game, and they'll have 2 European games played.
Wow.
And they'll both know how their season is going at that stage.
That'll mean it'll be over 13 months since the two teams have had a competitive fixture, which you don't see very often. Munster have done the job well there initially to get the exhibit. There's Alex Kendallin, a player that I think in Ireland we're all keeping an eye on because he could be a real future for Irish international rugby at 22 years of age. Jeremy Kilgallen, the try scorer for Connacht, loves these situations, loves the abrasive contact, and will make the effort to find the gaps as well. Seamus Hurley-Langton, well, that's how you deal with Seamus Hurley-Langton. You chop him down because he can destroy you. Otherwise, Connacht have made a mess of that and still have possession.
It's a bit lucky it's bubbled around, but Farrell's trying to straighten the line.
Oh, Tom Farrell, brilliant. Dennis Buckley trying to take that one-handed. It's knocked on somewhere. Don't know where, but it was definitely knocked on somewhere there. Probably at the end, anyways, by Keane Prendergast.
When you talk about Alex Kendallin, I mean, the number of players, back row players that are produced in this country is staggering.
John Hodnett is a superb find, and he didn't even get I don't know if he was close to the World Cup squad, but he could this time next year. He could be pushing all the way for a starting spot.
You feel that World Cups are starts and ends of cycles.
Yes, that's what we're talking about with the next Six Nations.
Yeah, and it'll depend on how far Ireland go and what Andy Farrell's thinking about. But he's not going to be stuck for back rows. Props may be slightly different issue and different, but our back row skill set is huge against all the provinces, really. Look at Kieran Treadwell, he was probably one of the best players in New Zealand last season.
Wow, great point. That looks forward. I mean, it came out of the hands backwards, so maybe they're just going to let that go, but it definitely drifted forward. Munster make a 10-metre gain off that, though.
They're starting to win the breakdown areas, and they're making more metres easily.
There's a bite to their attack play on the short side. That's really, really clever stuff. Shane McCarthy, 20 years of age. Got a late call up to the Irish under-20 squad, the Shannon man. He's a fiery player on the wing. A great opportunity for him today, and he's grasping it so far. That is Josh Wistreley with the carry, and that's a nice little disguise play out the back towards Simon Zebo. And Zebo has taken on Caelan Blade and caught him with his footwork there, so it's got them on the front foot. Great game from Munster, great play. Finian Wistreley now with the carry. Coughlin out from the base. Dermot Barron will be used as a battering ram when they need him. Calvin Nash in the centre of the field off the left wing. And Munster just interchanging nicely. There's another carry for Wistreley. Never get over these forwards who do a carry. You think they could just bank that for a few seconds, but instead they get up and go again. No better man than Jack O'Donoghue to get involved in every single breakdown if he can. Good carry. Finian Wistreley's a scrum half now. He's having a good few minutes fresh. Munster just...
They're asking a lot of questions of this defence. They're really starting to... They've upped the pace hugely. And their accuracy. This is where they were dropping the ball a little bit earlier on, but we're now up to phase 11.
Connacht are taking on a bit of water there. Oh, there's a knock on the ground. That's what's been affecting Connacht so far. They've had 3 or 4 of those. But Munster now just as you gave them the commentary curse there.
Commentators cursing it. Just saying how well they'd gone through those phases.
Since we're on Connacht Rugby's coverage of this game, we need to be careful. We'll be accused of using that in the wrong. It is a scrum. The scrum will be to Connacht. 10 metres from their own line. Half time approaching. That was good play. It's the kind of tempo you're hoping to see in this contest.
Yeah.
And it's going to ask questions, and coaches will learn from those kind of phases.
They will. Connacht just look a little bit off the pace again. They upped it in the middle of that half, especially when they were down to 14. But now they've dropped back a little bit. But Munster are asking them a lot of questions there.
It's the flat passing as well. I know we can pick and choose and say, oh, was one of them forward? But the main point is it was right up to the gain line, and it's causing Connacht trouble on the short side a couple of times there. And that kind of set the tone for the attack, didn't it?
It did, but it'll cause most sides trouble. You know, it's the way the game is being played. If you want to break through these blanket defences, you have to push through them. You can kick the ball away and chase it, but you have to get up on the line. That's what Ireland will probably be at tomorrow night against South Africa.
Yeah.
It's a rush defence, but you've got to pick your way through. But if you can get your passes away inside, and you've got 2 players available, that try that was scored against Tonga last week by Johnny Sexton to break the record.
Yes.
Because there was an option for the pass either way there. That's what you're looking for.
Connacht did that quite well last year, William, as well, on the way to the top 4 finish that they had by reaching the semi-finals. It's Tom Daly again. He's a man who'd love to stake a claim to that 12 jersey for those first few weeks on a busy start to the season. The kick downfield is counter-attacking prime ball here.
Well,
Shane McCarthy really took that to the line at full pace when he hit that line, and that's what they say you should do. We're Connacht skirting the offside lines there a bit. Carberry does so well there. That's class. Took the contact, got underneath it and got the pass away. That's not as good as the ball is dropped. Sebo, can you tidy it up? He wouldn't pass it out there, he thinks.
You've got to say, I mean, Joey Carberry this time last year was probably the Irish number 2 out half.
Yes.
It's funny how things change, but a bit of class doesn't.
I'm enjoying his attitude today. It's one of the things we're looking for, is how does he shape up to a game like this? And he certainly has done well. Munster, on the other hand, are making a lot of mistakes in the last few seconds. And Caelan Blade's gone for what is effectively going to be a 50-22 if it bounces the right way. Connacht are chasing after it, and it's gone in for the 50-22, so it is a Connacht line-up, but we were hoping at that stage to stay in play because Andrew Smith was almost in for a try.
Okay. First time I've seen him playing for Connacht, obviously.
He is fast.
He is fast. He is covering that ground. He's one of these guys that seems to float above the ground a little bit.
Have a look at this again here. This was the ball. Blade spotted it. Smith was away.
Yeah, he's gone.
What a speedy run. So we're there hoping the ball goes into touch, so Connacht get the 50-22, and then all of a sudden, wait a minute.
He was way past the cover.
Yeah.
He was past that cover without a problem. That's interesting. You're saying about Tom Daly at 12. Look, you've got Cathal Ford there. You've got David Hawkshaw, who captained the A team today.
And played well, I'm told.
Played very well. His brother played well as well. But it's
great to see him back because he's had a few issues with injury.
He has, but it's going to be very competitive. And then there's a certain other fella who's over in France at the minute, Mr. Aki, who is also going to be at some stage when he comes back looking for that jersey. It's a competitive spot. Tom Daly's doing okay here so far.
The line out is a great opportunity for Connacht to get back into this game. That push happened before Prendergast was on the ground.
Yeah, he was taken in the air there.
Spotted from the officials. Now Prendergast was probably trying to highlight that as well, but I think it's pretty clear that he wasn't on the ground. Blade looked like he was going to time that badly, but he timed it perfectly. Just held the ball an extra second and it got Connacht on the front foot. And now he's at it again with a little carry. Caelan Blade's lively as well. Another man who spent the summer months working with the Irish team in warm-ups and got some game time as well and another cap under his belt. Munster slow Connacht down though through 2 phases, and this is more of the same. You're talking about South Africa, William. Munster's defence is kind of like watching South Africa in terms of the intensity at the contact.
It is. It's very, very intense. It's very, very hard, and you've got to just be patient and keep looking for the gaps that you can see. Daly's carrying the ball remarkably in this half.
Yeah, and a great spin in the contact. Joe Joyce, he is going to be a key man for Connacht in terms of bringing that power in the second row. Seamus Hurley-Langton was an absolute essential component of Connacht reaching the semi-final last year. Good carry. Buckley's there. Daly is the obvious target, and Buckley on the shoulder. Not much room for Daly to go. His knee is down, so they'll have to release him. Connacht on the line, looking for their second try. Caelan Blade almost got in there, can't get the ball away. That's a brilliant tackle from Calvin Nash. Absolutely superb defending from Munster's left wing.
Yeah,
everything
that's brilliant. Drive back and get your hands on the ball or trap his arms in.
Superb. And that's the kind of awareness he brings. He's a real good player to watch. Heffernan has somehow got that ball back. That must have been knocked on by Farrell. Maybe it wasn't. Let's see what happens. Jeremy Kilgallen is going in for the try, but I'm toning down my enthusiasm because it was
clearly not
a knock on. So are we going back for another infringement, judging by the referee? Yeah. An advantage to Munster. I missed that advantage coming Connacht's way. 1 try apiece so far. The difference between the sides is Joey Carberry's penalty, and as half-time approaches and we are into the
red
additional
zone.
time, the red zone, Connacht have a penalty.
Now I have a decision to make here. Do they go for the corner and go for the drive, or no, they're going to have a tap and go?
Which I have to say I like, because they add a bit of speed to the whole
process. It's old-fashioned rugby, isn't it?
Heffernan is just going to go all on his own. He's chopped down to a quick ball out. Good chance for Prendergast. There's good scrum half play from Dennis Buckley. Another ball popped up. Kind of go high into the contact, which mightn't work. Ball comes back out the back door. It's fumbled backwards, so it's still in play. And Jack Hardy, he was almost through. The crowd were nearly applauding that as a try, but he got chopped down in the end. Munster's defence really, really good. They may be skirting the offside line though on that last phase. Connacht are just seeing if there's a way through. Tom Farrell is not going to find it, but it must be something on here if they can get players around, but there's no one looping around. Seamus Hurley-Langton's going to try and go in. All the way out here on the wing is Jeremy Kilgallen. If Hurley-Langton's held up, that's the end of the game. Let's see. Have we got a try? It looks like he's signalling a penalty. Couldn't be a try. There's no touchdown there.
Might be a card coming here as well, I think.
High tackle, we think.
Yeah, it could be high.
Yeah, the hand went up.
Kilgallen was... when
the ball was being held up, so we knew it was unlikely to be a try.
Kind of acres of space here, but they didn't see him.
Just was wondering where the pods were coming around for a bit of an attack, but I suppose they were sucked in. It's just a penalty. So right there, free signal that there for a second.
Yeah, we're going to the corner now.
Jack Carty.
Yeah, these pick and goes are the crash balls from penalties. It does take a little bit of practice. Rob Herring's very good at them. You have to sort of crawl along the ground. That's the trick. You've got to get down and down and down.
Yeah, Herring's body position for one of the tries for Ireland was pretty stunning. There's a throw to Prendergast, who has to work a little bit to get that and does well, and the maul is set. Connacht would like to go in at half-time with the lead, especially with the wind going to be in their faces in that second half. But Munster have come through the middle of the ruck, and Jack O'Donoghue has one possession. Superb work. Prendergast is having a bit of a battle off the ball, and that's going to lead to a kind of a little bit of a schmozzle.
Oh, here we go. Just getting to know each other a little bit better.
Wow. Oh, well, that is going to take a few seconds to make sense of. Prendergast definitely just came in on the side there, so frustration's got the better of him or not.
It's a little bit of frustration.
But that's what started it. Now the referee, I think, is just happy to let it go.
Yeah.
And just pats on the back.
We have seen situations in the past where this can continue in the tunnel a little bit, but I don't think anything's going to happen here. I think Connacht will be very, very frustrated with that. They inaccurate, but that's the defence. The defence, they're like bees or wasps. They're everywhere. Munster. It's really impressive. They're
I think Jack O'Donoghue's been brilliant throughout the game, but he crowned it.
Yeah.
With that, like to go through the middle of that ruck, and just rip the ball out, and just emerge from it almost like he's an actor that we didn't expect on stage, and just finish off the half. That's wonderful stuff from Munster.
Yeah, I'd say Munster will be okay with what they've done. I'd say Connacht will be a little bit on the back foot, but they've got 10 minutes now in the dressing room. I would say the likes of Cully Tucker and John Muldoon will be having a little bit of a chat about the accuracy. And maybe not so much the intensity, but just the actual drive that they're putting through. But you can already see Munster's defence that's the level you need to be at.
They won't be happy though with their attack play, because far too many drop balls, far too many turnovers. I mean, the reason why they're down in their own half is because they were in control through multiple good phases, and then the balls just dropped time and time again. So I think both sides, they'll be picking apart. Richard Cockrell will be in there picking loads apart as well.
Yeah, and also there'll be players coming on from the bench. I mean, that's the point of these games. You might treat it the same as a normal game, but you probably won't. So the players that come on have to get up to the pace, or some ways I'm going to say the non-pace of this game. It's not very quick. And sometimes that means inaccuracies occur because players just aren't at the right pitch. I think the second half will be a different game. Connacht 7, Munster 10 at half time. Hopefully we'll see a little bit more action in the second half, but so far it's been a good run out for both sides.
Big thanks to William Davis on co-commentary with me. Big thanks for you for tuning into the stream. We're going to take a little bit of break here in the commentary box, and we will talk to you at the start of the second half. But as you can see on the screen, it's Connacht 7, Munster 10. That's good from Connacht. First chance for them to attack. Conor Oliver, what a season he had last year.
Yeah, he was brilliant last year. He did a lot of that last season. He made himself available as a runner.
Carty's time pass gets it all the way out to the wing, and Dermot Kilgallen, he loves to get a try when he gets half a chance. He is in for the...
He's held that up in the wind beautifully.
Carty leads. I would suggest. Absolutely. Joey Carter.
Yeah, and the thing is,
centuries are doing that for you, just holdings to forwards, and there's some good fringe defending again. Munster though persevere as they only important to Munster. We know he can do a job for them at age. But slotting in to add that extra bit of ballast to it. He's in there. Good quick ball from Blade, and he's going to kick in behind. Probably just wants to change the narrative a little bit. That's a brilliant kick.
Yeah. Lovely kick.
From Caelan Blade.
Lovely kick.
Welcome back to the second half. So Pete Wilkins and Graham Roundtree walking across the pitch, giving their messages to the dressing room. What we know is Connacht have made a whole host of changes. So I'm just going to give you the second half starting lineup for Connacht, which is John Porch, who stays on, and why wouldn't he, because he missed 10 minutes in the first half. Shane Bolton is on for Jeremy Kilgallen. Byron Ralston's on for Tom Farrell. Cathal Ford is on for Tom Daly. Andrew Smith stays on, which is good because he was Connacht's best player in the first half, but it's not just about that, obviously. JJ Hanron's on for Jack Carty. Caelan Blade stays on. Peter Dooley's on for Dennis Buckley. Dylan Tierney-Martin's on for Dave Heffernan. Dominic Robertson-McCoy is on for Jack Ainger. Oisin Dowling's on for Niall Murphy. Joe Joyce stays on. Seamus Hurley-Langton stays on. And Paul Boyle is on for Conor Oliver, leaving Cian Prendergast still on the field. For our Munster followers, we will do our best to pick out their changes when we get them. But we're just having a look across the field, and my first look is there's not a lot of them. They went with just 8 replacements, and I think they're going through a match kind of setup, William. So they're probably not going to do as many at half time as Connacht are.
No,
who had those extra 4 replacements.
Gone for it there. I wonder, is some of that to do actually with the Connacht performance? It's a lot of changes to make at half time. We'll ask afterwards. JJ Hanrahan.
I see one Munster change there. I think that's Jack Daly, the back rower, the Kerry native, is on and wearing the 20 jersey. They have so many, you said in the first half, but they're in Irish rugby, but Munster have a really, really good bit of depth in their academies and their A teams now. I know they took a beating by Connacht today, but they played some great rugby before it kind of went away from them in that contest that was here at the sports ground behind closed doors this afternoon. Kick downfield for John Porch to take. Can Connacht start in front foot? Remember, Connacht are against the elements and there is a bit of a wind in it. Peter Dooley's first act is to do a no-look out the back door pass, and eventually finds its way to Byron Ralston. Again, it comes out to the wing. Andrew Smith had such a good first half. Dooley.
Connacht have tried to up the pace immediately here. We didn't see enough of this maybe in the first half from them.
I missed one change. I thought I had them all, William. Missed one. Colm Riley, the Ballinasloe native. He's on at scrum half for Caelan Blade. That's Ralston involved again. Takes the hit, gives the pass. Good start. Prendergast.
Big season for Colm Riley. Obviously with Kieran Marmion heading over to Bristol. He's now the man.
Our first look at JJ Hanron in the jersey. He's popped the ball back inside to Cian Prendergast, who's charged on through the middle, tries to get the offload and has got the offload, and Connacht were almost in.
Kind of maybe went the wrong way there. Ralston maybe had a cleaner
could still
line,
be a try, and there is.
Simple.
Paul Boyle, no better man to finish off a score when their move is sweeping. That's brilliant stuff from Connacht. Dylan Tierney-Martin gave a great support line to Prendergast there. It was him who received the pass and almost got over the line. But the quick recycle, and Boyle is a sharp player to be alert to those chances, and that's Connacht's second try of the game, and a really good start.
Yeah, they've upped it, they've got on. I was going to say both sides at half time will have talked about better accuracy, bit more pace, and Connacht have got on the front foot early there, and it's Cian Prendergast maybe will be, because he thinks very deeply about his rugby, he'll probably be looking at that video and going, I didn't take the right option there, but Connacht recycled it quickly and that's all they needed.
JJ Hanron's first points for Connacht could well come in this very instant, or at some point in the second half, as he tries to reverse his almost commentator curse there. I managed it. There you have it.
Well, it's certainly, I don't know if he scored against Ulster, but it's certainly his first points at the sports ground.
Thank you. It's almost like it didn't exist because we missed it, but that's not the way it works. Thank you, William. We'll have to check the stats.
Well, it was simply the fact that it was 30 odd degrees in Ballynahinch, and it's a long way to go.
I wonder, is he the first, I might be wrong on this, first Kerry man to play for Connacht since Sultan Delan, I would safely assume. And then you have to go to John O'Sullivan before that, I'd imagine.
Yes, you would.
Great number 8 for Connacht way back when. That man could put in a few tackles in his day. So could Ultan Delan. He's a Champions Cup medal in his back pocket.
He certainly has. He's over now with a Munster legend at La Rochelle, Ronan O'Gara.
Good spot from the referee there, because Carberry took that and he was tackled a fraction of a second before he hit the ground. So that's the right call.
Joe Joyce says, come on, ref.
It's a fraction of a second, ref. But that's not the way it works, Joe.
Yeah, that's an honest sort of discussion.
Carberry, I've said it already. I mean, you can only take so much from a game like this where it hasn't been a great cracking contest, but his attitude, his work rate so far, superb. I suppose you don't want to overanalyse that because why wouldn't it be? He's a top professional, but yeah, he looks sharp.
Yeah, he does, and I mean, he was an important part of Munster's season last year. You get the feeling it's going to break up a little bit in this second half.
Yeah.
There's going to be space.
Connacht got a bit more space there in that attack, but I suppose earned it. Munster have a platform to hit back. 4 points down now. Coombs the target at the front of the line-out, but it's messy. And then you're kind of struggling to get on the front foot. Good tackling from Connacht. But they're on the wrong side now, so that ball needs to come back cleanly or it'll be a penalty. It does. Ethan Coughlin still on there. And the change, Jack Daly in the back row, he's on. He's the only change I can see so far when I'm keeping an eye. If I spot another, I'll let you know.
Peter Dooley involved there. That's 2 tackles he's made just in this one phase of play.
Connacht are caught here and trying to push up to close off the options. Munster just offloading in the tight brilliantly. Talked about him a few times. Calvin Nash on the shoulder, bursting through. And now Connacht push up and Prendergast was almost going the length of the field. Instead he's knocked it on. Free play for Munster for a couple of phases off the back of an advantage for a knock-on. That's a nice play just to disguise the forward play. But as it goes to the back line, Zebo's in trouble and gets out of trouble and gets into trouble, but we'll go back for the knock-on advantage. I'm frustrated at how long these advantages go on for, but that one I'm fine with because Munster had one phase and then attacked 20 metres behind the gain line. So I think he's got that right, the referee.
Yeah, it's tricky. We've seen ones in the World Cup where teams have kicked the ball away and then it goes back and they're getting the advantage.
Yeah, whereas all last season a kick away was the end of it for a knock-on advantage.
And it's a funny one, and it's something I'll be following up at some stage before the URC starts, because it was always a case in a knock-on advantage, not offside, always knock-on, or some other little technical offence. If you kicked the ball away, the advantage was over. But now,
you usually used to get maybe 1-2 phases as well. That's all you got.
Well, every referee seems to have their own number of phases.
Some of them wait for the gain line to be broken. Some will just give it to a certain amount of phases. But I do think there needs, on the penalties too, there needs to be a bit of clarity. But sure, listen, we get off our soapbox and tell you about what's happening here, which is a line out that I think it was Kendall, that's the target in the middle of it. Oh, this is Munster's maul, folks. And Connacht have stopped it legally, I think. I say tentatively. Well, there's no penalty against them. Good strong defence, low and high and around the fringes, but Munster prime attacking position there. I don't think that ball came back the way they wanted it though. Loose and out the back door.
Came out a bit slow, so they are going.
And now they're in trouble.
They're going lateral.
Penalty against Connacht. The referee's not happy.
Wonder who he's looking for here.
I don't think it's a yellow card yet, but I think.
Well, it'll be tricky.
I think it's going to come up in the conversation.
It's going to be tricky if it's a yellow card because there's all different players on the field. So the team warning would have to be. It's Keane Prendergast he's having a chat with. Yeah, you can see why he's just making a nuisance and he's just saying, "Don't do that again." I think. We
didn't get word of who Connacht's captain is on the field with Jack Carty gone. Wonder is it Keane Prendergast?
That's a good point. Yeah.
Heffernan's gone as well.
And Tom Daly's gone.
We keep an eye on that. That might be why he was chatting. Another 5 metre line out as the sun shines in what we can call a beautiful September evening here in the sports ground. It hasn't been a classic, but it's picked up a bit in the second half, and Munster are about to strike back. You're offside in that position, I think, is the call against Connacht. Connacht's number 20 is Paul Boyle. And now it has to be a yellow card, and it is. Second yellow card of the game. Crowd not happy. But that's been confirmed. Keane Prendergast is captain. Paul Boyle, meanwhile,
he's walking off like a man thinking, I've been waiting since July for a game, and I've only had 7 minutes or 8 minutes in the half.
It'll improve his tries per minute ratio though, because he's got to try in the 8 minutes he's on.
I don't know whether that's a team penalty or he's actually the guy.
It had to be a team penalty, but as you said, he could be the culprit, the final culprit.
But he may not be.
Connacht have nearly got up and stolen that. Dowling was close, but I guess the point is Munster under pressure have won a good line out. Connacht are through the middle. Another penalty advantage. Well, let's just absolutely presume that Andrew Cole is on the money here, and Connacht's discipline is letting them down. Big style.
This is quite poor, I'd have
Another
to say.
chat. And I think I think he'd be well within his rights to put more pressure on, because it's like, again, the best thing we can do in this commentary box is just take the referee for what we're saying, what he's seen there, and just say that Connacht need to get their act together here.
Yeah, they'll be frustrated with this because they talk about it all the time. It's worth noting that Ireland, I think that they go 14 games without a card. And then Peter O'Mahony got one against
harshly, I think,
Tonga.
For the record.
Well, he needed the rest anyway. Came on and played brilliantly again afterwards.
He did.
Didn't make an awful lot of difference in the game. But this isn't helping Connacht. And again, it's a sign of new combinations maybe coming on together, just not quite on the same page of what they're trying to do.
It's just not a case of just maybe let Munster take a get down, put in a disciplined, tight maul, do your best. If you can't stop it, lesson learned.
Yeah, I suppose they're under pressure because they want to stop it.
They've done the first bit I wanted, and Munster had to throw it back, and that looked around the shoulder on Coughlin, so probably fortunate not to have another advantage against him. But Munster have rescued kind of a situation that wasn't of the plan anyways. They're still in possession, attacking the Connacht line. Surely Munster will get their second try of the contest now. Kilgallen and Boyle with the tries for Connacht. Munster with a try from Coombs in the first half. It was Connacht that struck early in the second half, so Munster trying to strike back.
Dowling's working really hard in there. He's getting body position down as low as he can.
Really strong work again from a combination of players, including Boyle, or not Boyle, I beg your pardon, getting my numbers mixed up. Paul Boyle is in the Sinbin. I think it was JJ Hamron getting himself into that, which was good. Number of Connacht players, but Munster on the line, and they're stopped, dead in their tracks. There's your man Dowling again. Yeah,
he's working really hard. It's so difficult with this law now that you only get one go at this.
Here we go, back line. Carberry, clever. Back inside to Barron, and he's got to try. So all that hammering away at a brick wall, and all it took was a little shovel pass out, a disguised inside pass, and everything's okay in the world. Connacht are down to 14 men, and Munster are back in front.
Yeah, well, from Connacht picking the pace up immediately after the half, Munster have come back pretty hard there. They're having a chat under the posts.
As you said, Dowling, Robertson, McCoy, among the players who put in a battling effort there to try and disrupt. Connacht made 8 or 9 changes, burst off the bench and had a big impact, but now they're dealing with a sin bin. You can see the sin bin clock on your screen. You can also see that Oisín Dowling is getting a little bit of treatment, the aforementioned.
Yeah, well, he was heavily involved in trying to stop that. Nice work by Carberry again there. Just saw
he's been very good.
Yeah, saw the space.
Carberry kicks towards the Lochatalia end in the sports ground, and he has struck
it over.
Conversion for Munster. 3 from 3 for him, and Munster back in front by 3. Connacht playing the old we're down a man in the sin bin, so we'll walk to the restart
very
despite
slowly.
The fact we're 3 points down.
Sun shining into the Clan Terrace over there.
Out of the card pack when you need it. JJ Hanrahan. He has a lovely strike of a ball in a restart because it sits in the air almost like it doesn't have the same weight as everything else. He receives the kick downfield and he has John Porch looping. Porch is probing, happy to take the contact. Munster burst over the top of that ruck and are off their feet. I find it hard to believe that was legal, but they did win the ball separate to the player who was off his feet, so they have it. Zebo with the kick through. Pressure on Connacht. Brilliant kick from Zebo. And Connacht have a line out outside their own 22, but Colin Ford was scampering back. Big Simon Zebo's doing everything you could ask of him so far as well. Munster just getting through this now. They're back on track.
Yeah, John Porch there was not exactly attended by his teammates quite quickly enough. But he did take it into contact in a slightly odd position because he ran away from his teammates.
That was a weird breakdown. It didn't make any sense to me how it was legal to come over the top like that. Unless a Connacht player picked him up, which is a whole other story. I don't think they did. I think he just lost himself over the top. Prendergast line-out work, William.
Yeah,
superb.
It's phenomenal. He's got hands like magnets. He just seems to tidy up all those sort of situations.
Colm Riley is Connacht's scrum half. Great to see him back. He's had his troubles with injury. Sister Aveen, the Irish international setup.
Yeah, a huge part of the women's victory against Leinster. Unfortunately, she picked up a...
She had a superb game that day. She was a massive loss then for the rest of the campaign. She was for the rest of that campaign.
And she's clearly the best, as you say, scrummy in women's rugby in Ireland.
Samoa came back with a try in that World Cup game, but Argentina have won it. Maybe some of you watching don't want to know that result, so apologies that it's come across the tenor. Anyways, on we go. Munster are really going through the phase as well here. They've gained 25 metres in 2 of them. And it's popped back to Coughlin, who is showing great work rate.
Connacht's defence line isn't as set as it was towards the end of the first half there.
Munster's attacking pods kind of weren't in the right spots there either, and that slowed things down. Lucky bully for them that Connacht have just got over the top there and given the penalty away. You can argue with the referee all you like, Mr. Martin, but I think he's got you there and he's going to have to accept that. The ball's received from Connacht, but it's another penalty. Off their feet, Connacht. Discipline's been an issue. 3 minutes to go on the sin bin. Munster up by 3. No side has led by more than 7 points in the contest so far. And Munster...
Munster have...
in good position to get ahead further.
Connacht hit the ground running start of the second half, but Munster have kind of got over that and they're turning the screw a little bit here. We know what's coming. They've kicked the ball to the corner, 5 metres out exactly. It'll be, I suspect, very much a driving line out.
I would suspect so as well.
It would be a big shock if this goes out through the hands of the backs.
I'll say this, 1 or 2 of Munster's lineouts though hasn't functioned right. It's not like Connacht have been giving away penalties on the mauls each time. Just haven't got the clean ball they'd like.
Yeah.
Now that's understandable at this stage of the season. Changes for Connacht. Joe Joyce has gone off. Is that Darragh Murray on? I feel like it is. Yeah, it is.
Yep.
And I see John Porch, I think, is gone as well. So we'll double check. Does that mean Lee McNamara is on? Another man who's come in from the sevens side of things. Australian background, Irish roots.
It's good work by Connacht here so far. They've slowed this down a little bit, but they've held the ball well and they're going back through the phases, so they're going to get the opportunity to pass out.
Yeah, Munster are just dealing with what's coming at them from a Connacht perspective and coming back. It is McNamara for Porch, it is Darragh Murray for Joe Joyce, just confirmed there. We're over here in the Greyhound stand looking with the behind the cameras here that you see, looking across at the subs bench, so we're getting info from the far side. Munster's patience is superb, and now they just go for it around the fringes. Is Carberry going to come up with a special move? Is he going to be needed? Daly is almost in. Half-time replacement.
There's a 2-3 man overlap.
This is it now for Munster. Carberry, beautiful hands, and they're in the shape of Rory Scannell. Very, very impressive spell from William from Munster. We're at 56 minutes. Connacht got their try around about the 44-minute mark. I think the 12 minutes since have just been utterly dominated by Munster.
Yeah, they've done really, really well. That was using the extra man that they have with the sin bin. It looked originally as if they weren't actually going to see the overlap, but a bit of calling on the field and Scannell was able to walk in and touch it down.
Don't want to over emphasize or don't put too much praise on Coughlin here, but I just feel like he's controlling the base well and making the right decisions. That pass took a while to dig that ball out, and then just found Frisch because he knew what was on. Frisch then was able to just get that ball into the hands of Carberry, and there was no stopping them then. As you said, it was on all the way, but he saw it, and he's having a good game for a young up-and-coming star at 9.
He is, and Munster are benefiting from the fact that they haven't made many changes.
Yes. There's continuity there, isn't there?
Yeah, absolutely.
Just Daly, who's making a good impact, is the only one that's come on.
But they've, Connacht have really, and that's understandable, but it hasn't helped their cohesiveness. So it's up to them now to lift it. They're 10 points behind. They need it. Well, obviously they need a score.
But this is all. The flip side of that is when they burst onto the scene after half-time, scored a try. We were like, look at this, the impact of all the new players. But it hasn't followed through though, and that's the point, isn't it? Connacht can chase this and force a bit of a pressure. Ralston is there to do that.
Player whose season was ended by very bad tackle last year in Newcastle.
Yeah, and it was
which was
unpunished.
Absolutely unpunished.
In the Challenge Cup game that Newcastle won comfortably, but yeah, a lot of frustration at those kind of little incidents that happened in the.
It was just season was just kicking off, and
going straight into touch.
They completely missed it
from inside the 22. Connacht's right winger now it will be Lee McNamara, and their left wing will be Andrew Smith. So we're getting a nice look at Connacht's decision to go recruiting from the 7th circuit. See what those players can make. The first half impact from Andrew Smith is one of the talking points I think the fans here will take home with them. There's Darragh Murray in the line out. The Roscommon man set things up. That move had kind of broken down before the players realised it, and they forced it and it didn't work.
Yeah, it was an out of sync situation. That again with changes early in the season. They won't accept that as an excuse, but it happens. A player is just slightly out. You'd have to look at it in real slow-mo to see who the player was out of position. But
just watching Jeremy Barron there, he took a big hit. Beautiful crossfield kick. It's on now, and it's won well, and Munster are on the front foot. Scannell needs to get in there and help out his teammate though, because Connacht are on the feet over that ball. The crowd want a penalty. Will they get it? It's the noisiest the sports crowd have been. They can get their penalty. That crossfield kick caused all sorts of trouble for Connacht there.
Someone we're seeing more and more in the game, and it does changes the whole aspect of a game of rugby if you can make that kick quickly and get it done.
Stop and play. Official is in, so our touch judge has seen something. This is old school rugby, no TMOs. So the touch judge is saying, look, I spotted something here, and I'd like you to officiate on it. So we'll have a pause to see what that's about. But meanwhile, we're getting a replay of this crossfield kick from Joey Carberry to Jack O'Donoghue. And what I like about this is O'Donoghue's having such a brilliant game so far, but now he's really getting the Munster number 6 into it, because that's exactly what Peter O'Mahony would be at in a big game. He'd be out there saying, give it to me, let me set it up.
Yep.
And it's always good, I'd say, from a management point of view, to see your players stepping into the roles of the leading candidates for that jersey. O'Donoghue, excellent. Now let's see what the decision is here.
Well, we all seem to be drifting back to, I don't know. This is where you need. So the old ref link is very handy. So Munster have a penalty.
Tackle without the ball. So I mentioned in that play that Jeremy Barron took a hit, and I think it's a late tackle on Barron. It's not that he was tackled without the ball. He just popped the ball back inside, but then he took a hard hit, and I think that was the right call. He's okay from it, which is good, but I suppose that's good officiating. Munster didn't get the gain that they might have wanted. Scannell finds touch with the left foot, and a good touch. With the wind at the back, Munster in control of this game, 10 points up, and worth that lead. I don't know if Connacht are certainly no worse than that, but it seems a fair balance on the scoreboard.
It does, because of the way they've picked the game up from the start of the half. There's plenty of time left for Connacht yet. They just need to decide. They looked a little bit unsure on the last possession, what they were actually looking for.
Scannell is on for Barron after that contact, so let's hope Jeremy Barron doesn't have anything more to worry about in terms of injury there, but he just took a bit of winding thing. As I said, Daly was on at half time. That was for Hodnett. 2 phases were Munster on the back foot, so good defending from Connacht, but Munster confidently just keep the ball alive. Shane McCarthy, good work from Shannon Mann coming off the right wing on that occasion. Munster just have options left to right, but they're going to go from left to right, and that's a beautiful floating pass all the way out to Daly. He's slowed down by Colm Riley. Connacht are over that. Andrew Smith was looking for possession, but he just couldn't get his hands onto the ball. I do get the feeling Connacht need a turnover here or something. That's it. That's what they needed. Quick hands might do it. Hanrahan out to Lee McNamara. This is where you think he might have the speed. Brilliant from McNamara to get it off to Hanrahan. And Ralston's in to clear that out. That's good from Connacht. First bit of attack play for Connacht for quite some time. I would say for as much as 15 minutes. Yeah,
just turned the game on its head there. One little error. They got to make something of this if they can.
Simbin is over. If we didn't mention that, I'm sorry, because that's Paul Boyle on the ball there a few seconds ago. Connacht definitely suffered during that Simbin on the scoreboard. Robertson McCoy with the carry. Hanrahan, 2 decoys, gets it away. Peter Dooley, he would love to have been able to get around and offload that ball because he had someone there, but that's good defence from Munster, and that's what it's all about, stopping those offloads. Oisin Dowling
Munster reset so quickly in those situations. It's
Riley, Hanrahan, kick through, McNamara chase, that's staying in play. McNamara could get this, he'll never hold that, will he? He will, he offloads, oh my word, what a try, that is absolutely outstanding. The score in the end coming from Cahill Ford, who had done a superb support line. The Corinthians man gets in for the try, but McNamara, what a pickup.
Well, I'm tempted to say that's what sevens gives you, because it's about taking opportunities. That's beautiful work. That's a highlight reel job on just how he picked the ball up and not giving up. Riley got the kick right. It didn't look the right decision. We're going to see it here again now. But if you're looking for the fact, Riley's immediately he's involved in this move, fed out. And the kick is through. He's picked it up. He's rolled and he's somehow managed to flick it out the back. That's almost a trick play. But it's a lovely try. And we're back hard at it. We're back to 3 points maybe if this conversion goes over.
Well, something sparked there and just changed, and Connacht all of a sudden were a different team, front foot. I will say this, William, Connacht fans will be excited by how confident and effective. That was Bolton, by the way, in the wing, folks. I'm sorry, we have two men with no numbers, and I was trying to catch which one, where our new man McNamara was, but I just caught a glimpse of the replay and realised our no number identification was wrong. It's Shane Bolton, William. So we've got to give him the credit in the correct way.
We certainly do.
That was outstanding from Bolton. And remember, he's a man who picked up an injury and lost a lot of last season.
Yeah, I mean, he played most of his rugby last year in the AIL for Galwegians. He is regarded as possibly the fastest player. He was last year in the squad sessions when they do that sort of stuff, but you wonder now with some of the others there. But that's great work by him. He's a player who hasn't really had as many opportunities. He's been unfortunate with injuries, but that was pretty decent.
Knock on, mistake, restarts. They're the things that will frustrate the hell out of players. Connacht making changes.
Yes, John Porch seemed to be.
Yeah, the sun in the eyes there as well.
No, it's John Porch has walked off. I don't know.
He was off for some time though, so I think he might have just come back on to pass on a bit of information, come to the edge of the sideline. When otherwise, we might have missed something there. Yes.
He was just
to be clear, because I got my notes wrong. McNamara is at full back, and we'll bring him into. We'll give you a better look at him when he comes in. And Bolton, of course, is over there on the far right wing. Bolton, brilliant on that kick through from JJ Hanrahan, who was outstanding. And a lovely support line from four. But here go Munster, off the back of a scrum. Gentleman does really well. Connacht are on the wrong side there, could get pinged, but slowing it down. And Munster on the front foot. Remember, they still lead because they built up a nice lead. They lead by 5. 24 points to 19. Connacht missing the conversion. Just. Munster forcing that extra bit of play, and they've been pretty ruthless in the second half, finishing off. They've also been patient. Niall Scannell, his brother Rory, has a try in this contest. Munster have 3 of them.
Connacht desperately trying to get their defensive line sorted here. There's a lot of arm waving and communications going on. That's a knock on. That's what happens sometimes.
Munster. Scrum Connacht, and the defence does the job. Nice little atmosphere here now. Crowd got into it.
Yeah, they did, because that the sort of move for that sort of try. Oh, where lads are having a further communication with each other. Not quite sure who that is. Just getting to know each other a little bit better.
Boyle is in there anyways. I think Jack O'Donoghue was in there at the very least as a peacemaker. At worst.
Well, it's always good to be the peacemaker. And if you can do a little bit of agitating at the same time, it works well. He's called.
Captains now are being spoken to.
Yeah, the referee.
Nice moment for Keane Prendergast as well, as he continues to thrive within the Connacht setup, just to be leading the team.
Yeah, absolutely. But he's, referees telling both of them to tell their lads to not so much ease up, but maybe calm down a little bit. Magnificent evening here now. Beautiful sunset. It's the sun is shining. It always looks a little bit different when the sun shines in the sports ground. Whether we get any of this when the season gets fully going in October, well, we've got some afternoon kickoffs. First two home games are 3 o'clock. Old-fashioned Saturday afternoon games.
I still can't get over, as you said, that when Connacht and Munster meet, New Year's Day.
New Year's Day.
It'll be game 11 for both teams in the season.
Yes. And it'll be the 9th game it'll be halfway through your URC season, and it'll be halfway through your European season.
11 straight weeks of rugby.
Yep.
Penalty for Connacht here.
Then we get a week off. They've decided not to play the first weekend in January after the New Year's Day, so that's good.
Number 18 for Munster is Keenan Knox. He's on for Ryan. He was a late addition to the Munster squad, and that's how kind of careful they were about their selection here, that they said, no, we're selecting 23 and we're going through a match day routine. So he was called in. Big cheer from the crowd as the ball came to the ground. Ethan Coughlin's gone off. I think he did his job well. The very experienced 31-year-old Limerick native Neil Cronin is on. Alex Kendallin has certainly got through a lot of hard work. He's trotting off now.
Well, those two players have a lot ahead of them, those two nines, because Casey and Murray are heavily involved, as we know, at the moment in France.
Yeah. Oh, overthrowing the line out. Dylan Tierney-Martin didn't find his man, found his opposite number in the shape of replacement hooker Niall Scannell. That ball is dropped by Neil Cronin. I don't think he'll get away with a drop like that, even if it might have gone somewhat backwards out of the hands. It was just dropped to the ground.
No.
So I think that's pretty clear.
It has been difficult for the players coming on off the bench on both sides to really get to the pace of this game. God,
that must be so frustrating for someone like Cronin, though, all his experience, and just kind of get into the groove and it just slipped out of your hands.
Yeah.
Oh,
and I
so
mean,
annoying.
There's no moisture on this pitch. The ball's not. There's no sweat on the ball. I can tell you now. It's
chilly.
It's chilly.
It's chilly up where we are in the commentary booth.
Yeah, but it is. It's an autumnal evening.
You can see on the scoreboard 3 tries apiece, so the difference is Joey Carberry's boot. He's converted all of his tries and kicked a penalty in the first half. Connacht have had 2 men in the sin bin during this game, though. That's 20 minutes down to 14 men. I think that's a factor as well. It's a 5-point
that is
advantage.
A factor, and that's something they had issues at the start of last season, losing players on occasions. So there'll be a discussion about that. There'll be a big chat. Both of them maybe because they weren't quite trusting the guy outside them to do the job. Although the John Porch one really was, maybe he was slightly out of position and he just decided, and sometimes you'll get away with that, but not in that case.
Oh, Munster getting a little bit too complicated now. Maybe, as William said, the fresh legs are there. And I've said this to you in the commentaries we do on radio for Galway Bay FM a few times, but every time I see Byron Ralston, I like the energy he brings. He's very physical. He's there on that ball. He's up in the face really, really quickly, and he can be quite effective. I'm sure he's not the perfect player yet, but I'm looking forward to him this season.
Yeah, because his season was stopped, as we said, in January, which was a horrible off-the-ball tackle. I won't mention it again, but yeah, he has that. A lot of these Australian players have played a bit of Australian rules, so they're quite able to handle the physical side of things, even if they're not maybe the biggest men in the world. Here's
McNamara now with the distinctive haircut, and he's first receiver. Sorry, William, cut across you a bit there.
And you've seen what Mac Hansen brings.
Yeah.
Mac Hansen in clearing out rucks and all the rest of it.
Yeah, they absolutely go for every contact. And even I know the Australians were disappointed to lose to Fiji, but I'm looking forward to watching them against Wales, because there's a young group of players there that huge amount of talent. I wouldn't write them off just yet. Here go Munster.
Is that Wales you're talking about, or
no?
Australia?
It's Australia.
Okay, fair enough.
We know your love for your second country there, but so far not so impressed. That said, they're doing okay. They're not out. They haven't put a foot wrong yet. Here goes Scannell. Nearly said Barron, but he's got so used to his carries. But it's very much Scannell in second row. Connacht are on their feet there. Is that enough? Keane Prendergast is wondering why it wasn't enough for a penalty, but hasn't got it. Munster leading on the scoreboard and control the possession. We're into the final 10 minutes. I think it's been a better second half.
It has, yeah. The pace of it has been better. Accuracy still not fantastic, but this is early season.
We knew what we were signing up to today for that. But it's certainly revealing a few interesting insights. Like Nash just keeps going to the end, doesn't he? Here's Shane McCarthy. It doesn't matter because it was forward out to him. Yeah,
there's been a few of them. Both sides have got away with a few, but you won't get away with that.
Connacht backline at the moment is Colm Riley, JJ Hanrahan. As I look across here, Cathal Ford, Byron Ralston in the centres, and our left wing continues to be Andrew Smith, who's going to put in an 80-minute performance today. And on the right wing is Shane Bolton with the fullback Liam McNamara. Connacht's scrum has been solid so far.
Yeah, there's both
even
sides
with the
have
replacements, they got a penalty out of the last one. They're getting a reset here. We've talked about this before. We do a lot of pre-season games, and I often say to you at this point, how focused are Connacht on the scoreboard right now? How focused are they on the W, or is it just about, right, what's the next move, what's the next routine?
Well, they should be focused on the win because it's very possible, and it is an inter-pro game against Munster, and they are the champions, and that's. I don't think you can just say, oh, it's about the performance and did this combination work and that combination. Because these guys are very competitive; they want to win. That's both sides.
Yeah.
You know, Munster will be delighted if they come away from a win here.
The decoy there has worked well, and Connacht got the ball out the back door, and that's letting Cathal Ford burst away. Look at the speed of Cathal Ford. He has one try already. He's made 35-40 metres, and they can't take him down because look at the strength of Ford. Oh, that's impressive.
Yeah, that's the first time he's really had a little bit of space.
The timing from Hanrahan to Robertson McCoy wasn't bad either because it got McCoy through on the front foot. Now it's a bit slower, so going to cross-field kick to the far side of the field. Dylan Tierney-Martin was never getting that ball, so he was just focused on wrapping McCarthy up. McCarthy dropped the ball, then retained it, and that kind of gave possession away. I don't think that was a good conclusion to a brilliant start in terms of the break off the back of the scrum.
He was running out of options a bit, but you need a different player to be kicking to, I think. You'd want one of your wingers.
Dylan Tierney-Martin, he at least got himself in position.
Yeah.
Bit of pressure on that clearance kick there.
Yeah, and that's a
Darren
good.
Murray.
Yeah, so they've got a line out just outside the 22.
Platform for Connacht, 5 down, looking to get a converted try to win this.
Be a little frustrated just that it kind of the space closed up on them.
Boyle has been kept out of this line out, William. He's in that backline arrangement outside JJ Hanrahan, between Hanrahan and Cathal Ford. Ford has a try and an absolute superb break so far, and some good work in defence too. He certainly had a good season last year for Connacht too. A breakout season, I would suggest. Here goes Riley. He knew someone was going to be inside him. He knew it would be Andrew Smith. Smith just about got there, but he did the job. He was taken down.
Had to go around one of his own players to get there, but he kept going.
Oisin Dowling. Munster's abrasive tackling again comes to the fore, and Munster's defence is going to be tested. This evening sun sweeping across the sports ground. Perfect for rugby. The surface is always going to be good since they've redone it for the 4G setup. Ralston again with the carry. Options left, options right. They go to the left. A bounce pass to Smith. Smith nearly tackled himself there in his footwork, but he's taking it back to the gain line, presents good ball, and he bought himself some time too. Dowling needs a good clear out. Peter Dooley provides it. Oh, that's good play from Darren Murray. First the offload, Ralston dropped it, chance gone, and Munster have a counter-attack opportunity.
That's frustrating for them. It did get forced again, but it was forced because Munster's defence is just in your face and very, very accurate. They don't give you the spaces.
Bolton has had a few good moments in this game. This is a good chance for Shane Bolton. He's away and he has someone inside. It's Riley. Riley gets the ball. He has 5 Munster players around him. He has to go with a scoop pass out to the wing, and it comes back from Ralston. I think that almost was a chance for coming into line. Was that McNamara eventually joining it in the end? I'll tell you in 2 seconds if it was Bolton or McNamara. I think it was McNamara. He's knocked it on. Let's see what the referee's saying. Yeah, he's just going back to where he saw the knock on. Munster ball. Josh Costello is on, 20-year-old winger that a lot of people are excited about, and Shane McCarthy has done well.
Again, when Bolton gets a bit of space and a bit of speed, he's quite an attacking threat.
There's been a lot, all the good moments from Connacht, bar Kilgallen's lovely try in the first half, have come in the second half, really, in terms of like when the game's broken up, it's been exciting. And that's encouraging, isn't it?
Yeah, well, they want to play at high speed, and to play at high speed, you've got to be very accurate, and that's what's let them down. They haven't quite been as accurate as you'd expect them to be 3-4 games into the season. But you can see the type of rugby they're trying to play, and it's really all coming from getting fast men on the ball.
William, Andrew Smith's just gone off there and got a brilliant reception from the Clan Terrace. They know what they saw in that first half and there in the closing stage of the second half. John Porch is back on the field. He's standing over here on the left-hand touchline Just waiting
Yeah,
to see if
this is a
something
Connacht
comes.
put in, so there seemed to be 3 knock-ons
there was a knock-on initially from a Munster.
So this is a big opportunity now just to close this game out right at the end.
Controlling at the base is Boyle. Have they got a penalty? Oh, Paul Boyle would have loved the advantage, but in fairness, everything had stopped at that point. Penalty to Connacht.
What do? Do you go for a scrum? Do you kick to the corner? I know where I'd be going. It's the corner. JJ Hanrahan's decided that, I think.
Do you know what I do, William? I'd say, who's the captain? Because I'm not making that call.
Well, Cian Prendergast, the line-out man, and I think there was to be no funnies there. This is a great opportunity just to pinch this, and it doesn't.
Can we apply to the URC for a couple of points in the championship table if they get this?
Absolutely.
I'm sure we could. We'll send off a letter and now see what happens. Munster will be happy to take the points if it goes wrong, as it has. Carberry, he's taken high there. That's a lazy hand, and it shows you how it can be. I think if this was URC, it'd be a yellow card. I think the referee's going to be lenient if he doesn't.
Don't know who did that.
He's just been told to calm down, but I think if you got a slow motion replay on a few angles on that, it would look even worse. Hanrahan, was it? Sorry, I think it was. Yeah, it was JJ Hanrahan.
It was Hanrahan.
It happens. We've seen it in the World Cup too, but we've been talking and analysing tomorrow's game against South Africa, and we can do it layer upon layer upon layer. But the biggest thing is a yellow/red card at the wrong time changes everything. Discipline
is what it's got to be all about. Connacht will be very frustrated with that.
Second overthrow in the line-out.
In the line-out. You can't do that. You can't do that if you want to win games in close-out situations. It became a little bit of an issue last year for Dylan, but again, look, it's early season. He'll be annoyed about that. John Muldoon will be working through that, looking at was it a bad lift? Was it the wrong call? That's the analysis they do.
Tara Murray rescues the ball at the front and turns it over for Connacht. Brilliant from Murray, brilliant from Connacht. And here's a chance for Carl Ford, who's playing some stunning rugby in his second half. Ralston with the carry then, good clean out, and Connacht still have the ball in the shape of JJ Hanrahan, and they want to make it count this time. Munster have line on the tackle, not rolling away. Man Costello's just come on. He's trapped in now, in fairness to him, but unfortunately he's not going to get much forgiveness when he finds himself on the wrong side.
No.
It's not up to Connacht to let him roll away. He has to get out of there himself first.
So back to the corner and then get your line out right.
I'm delighted for Dylan Tierney-Martin that he gets this other chance.
He gets another chance.
But you're aware that if it goes wrong, the extra bit of pressure's on here now.
No, it is, and it's everybody is in the team, but everybody has their specialities to get right, and that's what you're being judged on in different phases of the game.
And we've been trying to give them Munster perspective. This is a nice test of them pre-season. Can they see out a really big defensive test here? First things first, is there a ball to be turned over? And it is just out of the hands. Maybe the lift, maybe the throw. Dowling got his mittens on it, but only briefly. 2 prime lineouts. You're going to be chatting with Pete Wilkins afterwards, William, and I know you'll be asking about what he's going to learn from those match-winning position chances.
Yeah, that's if the fans are frustrated, I can tell you the players will be 10 times more frustrated. That's what they work at.
It's pre-season, these things happen. I think everyone will take that element to it. Here's John Porch, but Connacht now are in last chance saloon, obviously. They've been given a couple of chances there, and they haven't taken them, but they still are playing heads-up rugby. In the last 20 minutes, they've been very impressive from Connacht, it has to be said, in this sense. Dylan Tierney, or Oisin Dowling, out it comes to Porch. He's been up and down off that bench between sin bins and replacements have come back on.
He's had a busy afternoon or a busy evening.
Munster are all offside there. They took a step, but maybe a referee says no, Connacht were too slow.
I think we're playing under an advantage.
That's the right call.
So at that stage, you see the opposition, I should say Munster, can just say, well, we'll have another penalty then because we know we're in trouble. Now, kick it to the corner again.
What was your take on that line, William? No one's expecting you to be an analysis expert here, but what do you feel?
I thought the throw was a bit floaty.
Bit too much, yeah, it was too high then.
It was a bit too
floaty,
high,
yeah.
Bit too floaty. The lift wasn't brilliant, but again, they've been tidying up lineouts, but it just looked as if it hadn't quite gone.
But we both know if we sat in a room with John Muldoon and the lineout team, we'd learn a few other bits about it too. So it's never as clear cut as it might seem on the eye. Bottom line is Dylan Tierney-Martin wants to get this right. Hanrahan hasn't found at the corner, but it was a long way out. But Connacht got one last chance. The clock is over 80 minutes. Another scrappy line out. Somehow it's rescued and Connacht have the ball. Just about. Porch has it, so at least we get this roll of the dice right at the end. Connacht need a converted try to win this. Player in front of the ball carrier, that's Cian Prendergast. One more malfunction, finishes the game, and Munster have won at 24-19. It's not the end we wanted. And I don't mean that just from a Connacht perspective. We wanted to see that game finish with Connacht testing out Munster and something come out on top, but in the end it's just a malfunction that finishes off.
Yeah, the changes for Connacht, some players, Cathal Ford stood out.
Cathal Ford was excellent, yeah.
Absolutely off the bench. Shane Bolton off the bench was huge as well. Byron Ralston. But the rest of it didn't quite settle in the way they would have expected it to. They will be frustrated, a bit annoyed about it. They'll analyse this on Monday. They'll go through stuff on Tuesday, and then they'll start getting ready. They're off to Edinburgh next Friday night for a game against Edinburgh, and the Eagles are travelling over as well for a game.
And that'll be a good experience for the group as well, after all this sports ground training throughout the summer, just to get away together and get that first little bit.
Absolutely. And they'll be looking for an improvement on this. The players that have had a good game tonight will be delighted. The players that maybe didn't quite get to the level they'd be expecting will be pushing themselves to get better.
Two things I want to ask you before we finish this stream, and thanks folks for joining, signing up and tuning in, because we know how much you care about Connacht Rugby when you're tuned in at this time of the season with the World Cup going on. You really are looking forward to the start of the season. We'll talk about Connacht in a second and we'll finish with Connacht, but for our viewers from Munster who've tuned in, what can they take from this victory?
I think they can take a reasonable amount from it. They were inaccurate in the first half. Their handling was poor. Their defence in both halves was absolutely brilliant. It's something they pride themselves on. They make sides work very hard when they have it. They'll be a little frustrated that they got 2 yellow card situations for Connacht and they didn't actually...
Well, they capitalised on the second one, but maybe didn't get enough out of them overall.
They played the game slightly differently to Connacht. They played it more as a game. There wasn't as many substitutes used, and I think overall, they will be happy. Does it mean anything in the longer term of the game? Not really, but they've had a good hit out tonight. Both sides seem to have come through unscathed, which I think is important.
Yeah, we never know for sure. You just hope that Hodnett, who went out after half-time, and Barron are okay, but
they might have been set-up changes that they made. Of course,
they might be,
impressive for them, definitely. I thought Ethan Coughlin had a big game at 9, and he's...
young scrum half.
He's young, and I mean... That's a place they've 2 scrum halves with Ireland.
Shay McCarthy, I keep saying, make sure I sound out his name and get used to it. He's one to look out for the future, 20 years of age, the Shannon man.
Yeah, and I think both back rows came through this game pretty well.
Jack O'Donoghue was brilliant, wasn't he?
John Hodnett, Alex Kendellen, Seamus Hurley-Langton, Paul Boyle, Conor Oliver, Cian Prendergast for Connacht came through well. But they'll be a little disappointed with the inaccuracies, both sides, but it's a good start for them. They'll probably each have one more game.
3 tries each. It's just the kicks that made the difference.
Connacht
had a tough conversion on the far side. Obviously Munster's the only penalty game was in the first half. Joey Carberry stood out for us as well. Hanrahan's impact in the second half will have Connacht fans thinking, that's interesting now, because he's a pickup. He's done a lot of travelling around between the Dragons, France, Munster. Maybe he will settle here and find his best form. Yeah,
they'll be looking for that, Connacht. There was someone that came out of the blue when it was announced. But look, he's bringing a lot of experience. He's not a player that you have to bring in and educate about professional rugby. He brings that with him anyway. I thought he did okay. The kick through for the try. It's good to see Bolton back on the field, and we haven't seen enough of him. But overall, it's a start.
We might get some highlights on screen in a second, but I'll say this about that first half try. Great try from Dermot Kilgallen, set the tone for Connacht. All right, Munster took a lead into half time, and they put some proper distance between the sides when they went 24-14 up. You're almost wondering, was that going to be game, set and match? Because remember, Connacht led after half time when Paul Boyle charged over. But that's when it went against them. Bit of pressure on their line. Discipline caught them. The yellow card. And suddenly from 14-10, Munster had 14 points unanswered. Absolutely.
No, the point is very simple. You won't win games in the URC or the Champions Cup if you have 2 yellow cards. You'll barely win them if you have 1. You might get away with 1. Connacht will be worried about that. They will talk about the discipline. They will talk maybe again a couple of times just about situations where they didn't quite get at it. They're coming over here to have a...
Just to thank the fans who've traveled, and there's great support here today. A really good crowd, a lovely evening for rugby. 21st of October, home game, tickets available. Get your season ticket now and just solve all the problems. You don't even have to think about individual tickets, folks. But 21st, 3 o'clock kickoff, as William says. He's old school, folks. He doesn't mind his afternoon kickoffs on a Saturday. That's what you remember coming up to back in the day.
I certainly do. We used to kick off, and of course the thing
There's
is
no floodlights.
That is there wasn't. So if you kicked off at 3 o'clock in December, it was a problem because it finished in the dark.
It's 2:30 at that stage just to get it
done. That's World Cup semi-final day, following week's World Cup final day.
Wow.
Let's hope Ireland are involved
so
there.
Good.
So you could go from here to a local hostelry in town.
Can't think of any, can you?
I can think of a few, and just you could link it in. You could live rugby and televised rugby from France. Those are 3 big games for Connacht at the start of the season, and some of these players here tonight. We know that Bundy and Mack and Finlay will not be back for those games. So these players, they're fighting for that place. They want their hands on the jersey. And Cahill Ford tonight's the guy that stood out for me.
Yeah, Andrew Smith was really exciting as well because he's new. But Ford was outstanding.
Yeah, well, we saw him last year.
Power, strength, speed.
And his decision making, he always seems to be in the right place.
Yeah, he got the second. He got the 3rd try for Connacht as well, folks. Listen, we've really enjoyed this, and myself and William will be back with you on Connacht streams for future games when we get a chance. Keep track online for following the team news and how the team gets on in Edinburgh. But our next stream will be a few weeks after that. But the first home game of the United Rugby Championship season will be on the 21st of October at the Sports Ground. Get your tickets for that. In the meantime, William, thanks very much.
Thanks, Rob. Very enjoyable.
Big thanks to John Murphy up here and everyone at Stream Sport. That's it from us, folks. Thanks to Dermot as well, who's helped us out and get set up with the pictures. We will talk to you soon. Final scoreline: Munster the winners in this pre-season friendly. Connacht 19, Munster 24. That's good from Connacht. First chance for them to attack. Conor Oliver, what a season he had last year.
Yeah, he was brilliant last year. He did a lot of that last season. He made himself available as a runner.
Time pass gets it all the way out to the wing, and Dermot Kilgallen, he loves to get a try when he gets half a chance. He is in for...
See if Jack can get the points here. Yeah, he's held that up in the wind beautifully.
Jack Carty, ladies and gentlemen, in that situation, I would suggest.
Absolutely.
Joey Carberry.
Yeah, and the thing is...
mentioned. Centres are doing that for buildings to forwards. And there's some good fringe defending again from Connacht. Munster, though, persevere as they only... The versatility of Gavin Coombs as well is going to be so important to Munster. You know, he can do a job for them at age. And when in the jersey, he's popped the ball back inside to Keane Prendergast, who's charged on through the middle, tries to get the offload, and has got the offload, and Connacht were almost in.
Kind of maybe went the wrong way there, Ralston. Maybe had a
could still be a try, and there is. Simple. Paul Boyle, no better man in this very instant, or at some point in the second half, as he tries to reverse his almost commentator curse there, and they're stopped dead in their tracks. There's your man Dowling again.
Yeah, he's working really hard. It's so difficult with this law now that you only get one go at this.
Here we go, back line. Carberry, clever. Back inside to Barron. Carberry kicks towards the Loch Battaglia end, the sports ground. Here he has struck.
Over.
Are we going to come up with a special move? Is he going to be needed? Daly is almost in. Half-time replacement.
There's a 2-3 man overlap.
This is it now for Munster. Carberry, beautiful hands, and they're in the shape of Rory Scannell.
Are benefiting from, I think, from the fact that they haven't made many changes.
Yes, there's continuity there.
Yeah, absolutely.
Just Daly, who's making a good impact with it. Machine Dow.
Wants to reset so quickly in those situations. It's
Riley, Hanrahan, kick through, McNamara chase. That's staying in play. McNamara could get this. He'll never hold that, will he? He will. He offloads. Oh my word! What a try! That is absolute. One more malfunction finishes the game, and Munster have won it 24-19. It's not the end we wanted. And I don't mean that just from a Connacht perspective. We wanted to see that game finish with Connacht testing out Munster and something come out on top. But in the end, it's just a malfunction that finishes off.
Yeah, the changes